Good morning, Lou.
Good morning. 11th of Rabbi Levitt. Pele Yoetz.
Yoetz. Okay.
The 11th of the 11th. This is in Australia. This is Anzac Day, and in England too, I suppose.
It's Anzac Day. What's that mean?
When the Anzacs stormed Gallipoli in the war, World War II. They had a lot of casualties.
Again, what happened?
The Anzacs, the Australian and New Zealand forces,
Right.
stormed Gallipoli, and
Where's that?
A beach in what do you call it? I think it's in the English Channel.
Normandy. Well, it's
Normandy, was it?
yeah, it's
Forgotten. I should know. And there was a lot of casualties.
Oh,
it's Armistice Day in America, right?
Helped to turn the tide of the war.
Isn't it Armistice Day in America? 11th of November.
it's yeah. My wife says that the post office doesn't work in America today.
It's
Oh.
Armistice Day.
It's a holiday.
Mm. Yeah, there's a monument in Melbourne, which it's a sort of like almost a pyramid sort of shape, and inside there's a what do you call it? A stone to commemorate the people, the soldiers, and it used to be. It's not anymore because of the time differences now. But it was organised so that there was a light that the sun could shine through the roof of the opening of skylight on the 11th of November at 11 o'clock. It would the rays of light would strike the monument inside the building. Anyway, but
Well, in America, it's Armistice Day
Armistice Day. Okay, that's
Yeah.
what it's called.
every year on 11th to mark the armistice signed between allies of World War I and Germany.
oh, right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Oh, it was a big. It was a
The end of the war,
during World War II,
World War I.
World War One.
I thought it was World War II. Anyway,
Is it?
it's called the Shrine of Remembrance, that building. Shrine of Remembrance. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm not good at history of any kind.
The end of World War One.
End of World War One. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Armistice.
Now it's called Veterans Day. It used to be called Armistice Day.
Oh, it's
Is it also called Poppy Day?
Not here. Not in America.
Yeah.
not in America. No.
It was they used to give red poppies, sort of to all the school children to wear. Times.
They said 10 million men were killed in action and 20 million were wounded worldwide.
Hmm.
Oh, wow, wow.
Anyway,
In World War One.
World War One.
why don't I think of World War II?
10 million Americans?
No,
No, general.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we so we are
108.
we are
Page 108, right, construction?
we're starting a new section today. Binyan construction.
Building, right.
Okay. Everybody knows about that.
Mm,
It's all around us.
Oh, goodness, right.
yeah.
One Yerushalayim. Okay, so who would like to start off today in the section of Binyan?
Okay, I'm ready.
Alan.
Right. Our sages in Arona 63a said, whoever engages in construction will be impoverished. Heaven help us. In all other areas of expenditure, the person knows how to plan how much to spend and examine his capital. If he has sufficient funds, he commences a project in such a fashion that will not go bankrupt. This is not true about construction. The person plans to spend 100 zuz and becomes an expenditure of 200. Once he begins, he cannot terminate the project. As a result, he may become bankrupt. It's therefore proper for man to think first. If he can spend twice as much as originally estimated for a building project, let him engage in construction. If not, then he should desist. The person needs to see the house expense first. As the popular saying goes, the store builds the house does not build the store. It would seem that it is better for a person to buy a building that is already built, where it has a fixed value and can be bought cheaply without too much effort. However, according to the words of the Holy Zohar in Parshas Tazria, it is explicitly forbidden to buy an already existing building from a non-Jew or even to receive it as a gift. This is because when a non-Jew builds his home, he invokes the name of his idolatry. The evil spirit immediately descends upon the home and never leaves. Anyone who lives there may be
Wow.
harmed. This is the secret behind the spiritual plague of leprosy. It would appear in a house in order that they would demolish the house with stones and wood. This does not apply to a home built by a Jew with righteousness. That is, that the money invested was earned with integrity. When laying the foundation, he will clarify his intentions and his actions are for the sake of heaven instead of prayer before Hashem. Upon completion of the home, he will make a dedication thoroughly through the study of Torah and prayer. I've already composed an order of Torah study and prayer in Beit Tefillot. Through these means, sanctity will settle there. On whatever he spends, he should say that it's for building a home inhabited for the service of Hashem. The more he increases the mentioning of the divine name upon the building, the better.
Hmm.
So that's interesting. So it assumes that all non-Jews are idol worshipers?
Yeah, I can't look up the Zohar for you. I'm sorry. That I don't have in my house. What's it say over here? According to the words of the Zohar, it's forbidden to buy a house built by a non-Jew or even to receive it as a gift. Because when the non-Jew builds his home, he invokes the name of his idolatry. Let's see. Anyone who lives there may be harmed. This is the secret behind the secret plague of leprosy. It would appear in a house in order that they would demolish the home, its stones and wood. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what I mean, this should really be a halacha that appears in Shulchan Aruch. If the Shulchan Aruch brings this what the Zohar is saying as a din.
Right, and I don't believe we follow it. I mean, I've never heard a rule that you can't buy a house from a non-Jew.
Yeah.
I was muted. It's very impractical these days. It'd be almost impossible to follow, if not completely impossible to follow.
Mhm.
I guess it would be it would probably be in halachas of Avodah Zarah. Maybe the Rambam would bring it. Maybe it is in Shulchan Aruch. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Mm.
Mhm.
And what about partly built by a Jew and partly by a non-Jew who are
Oh,
Jewish and non-Jewish labor?
okay. So he's going further with this in the next paragraph actually, and I see he's quoted something in the Shulchan Aruch. So let's see a little further. So the next paragraph is a person should be very careful. Oh, here he's not talking about that. He's talking about another halacha. Okay, not really the same halacha. Okay, this is a halacha, and it's brought. He brings it in the Orach Chaim. So, Louis, you want to do the next paragraph?
A person should be very careful not to violate a prohibition that many have trampled upon, to allow a non-Jew to do work on Shabbos, Yom Tov, or Chol HaMoed. By this type of conduct, the verse exclaims, "Woe unto the builder of his home without righteousness." The halakhic authorities have written that it is not permissible to enter such a house, and that those who stand at the head have the responsibility to rectify this breach if they have the power to do so. How good it would be if God has expanded a person's means and he has ample space that he should build a special room to isolate himself for the purpose of serving his creator. He should also build a house for hosting guests. He must be careful to place a proper mezuzah on every doorway. One who does these things is guaranteed that the divine presence will rest upon his home, that God will protect his coming and going, and that he will know peace in his tent. Therefore, it is better for a person to build his own home and not buy an existing dwelling, unless it happens that a Jew who was careful in all these matters is selling his house. I think it's a pretty widespread custom to employ non-Jews on Shabbos and Yom Tov, at least in America.
Well, we didn't in Australia or in Melbourne anyway. A lot of the from Jews would have in their contract not to work on Shabbos or Yom Tov, and to stop Erev Shabbos at a certain time, well before Shabbos came in.
Yeah.
Sometimes they would have a sign up on there. We that's what we did when we had we did extensive renovations and added on to into a house in which we were living, and we said we spoke about the fruit trees that we had to move, and we spoke about the Yom Tov and Shabbos with it was a Greek builder, and he was very accommodating. It was good, and we had I think we had a sign up, but anyway, people in the area knew that we weren't building then. It was a fairly from area. Well, mixed Goyim and Jews, but fairly from.
Mhm.
So, but we weren't the only ones who did that. There were a lot of people.
Okay.
But the original house was definitely built by Goyim.
Hmm. Hmm.
I doubt very much that there was any Jewish builders at the time that the area was being developed.
Hmm. Okay. Welcome to Mayor. We are on 109, construction.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
So the first paragraph, he said, make sure you have twice as much money as you think you need in order to start building your house. So, 'cause otherwise it's not going to be so easy, because it always costs twice as much. And now he said that that's really the ideal thing to do, rather than to buy a house, to build your house yourself, unless it's a house that was owned by a Jew that was careful in all these matters that we're talking about. Yeah. All right. Okay, so now we go to the last paragraph of page 109. In any case, and we ask Roy to continue.
In any case, a person should not spend egregiously. What's that word?
Egregious.
What?
Egregious.
Egregiously. What's that mean?
Not good. It's an egregious action is something that's very bad.
Like off the charts, out of bounds, so to
Yeah.
speak. That's what it sounds like, just from the context of the sentence.
All right, to build an enormous house, a building of stone or a decorated and plastered second story, etc. For everything is vanity and the frustration of the spirit. See Koheles 1:14. We are visitors whose days are like a fleeting shadow upon the earth. Divrei Hayamim 1. It is better that he should use these funds to build a permanent dwelling in the world to come, for there is his true home. I think the funds would be a different kind of funds.
Oh,
Tom-
he might tell this famous story about Rabbi Yochanan. Oh no, he's not going to tell that story. Okay. Let's see what the story that he tells. So anyway, that's what he's saying. He's saying rather than spend your money to for Olam Hazeh, you should basically spend your money for Olam Haba, because that's your dwelling quarters here in this world are temporary, whereas your dwelling quarters in Olam Haba are permanent.
Mhm. All right.
You know that famous story about the Chafetz Chaim?
No.
They tell it on Sukkot
Ah,
that there was some visitor that came to the Chafetz Chaim, and he came into the house, and he was astounded. He said, "Rabbi, where is your furniture?" All he saw was a broken down table and a chair that the Chafetz Chaim was sitting in, something like that. And the Chafetz Chaim shot back, "And where is yours?"
mhm.
So he
Yeah,
says,
that's
"Rabbi,
right.
what do
Yeah.
you mean? I don't live here. I'm just passing through." Chafetz Chaim said, "Me too."
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and I do remember where that.
That's the story for the Sukkah.
Anyway, so the true home is in Ha'olam Haba. The Talmud Yerushalmi in Shekalim Perek 5 relates a story of two sages who were wandering from place to place. In one city, there were magnificent synagogues, and one said to the other, "How much money did my forefathers spend in this place to build such magnificent synagogues?" His friend responded, "How many souls did your forefathers bury in this place? Were there no people to toil in Torah? That is to say, it would have been better to build a modest synagogue with the rest of the money to support those who devote themselves to Torah study." And this was said even in regard to the construction of a synagogue, for which there is a mitzvah to beautify the house of God. What shall those who make extravagant expenditures on the building of fancy houses, while at the same time Torah scholars scavenge for bread, answer on the day of judgment? What would they answer on the day of judgment, these extravagant builders?
Mhm. Okay. Very strong, more strong words from the Pele Yoetz.
So I have one quick question about that beautifying. It's a mitzvah to beautify the house of Hashem, of God.
Yeah.
I might have mentioned this before. I don't know where I read this, but apparently here it's talking about the physical structure should be beautified. But I read someplace, maybe it was in the OU magazine or something years ago, that if beautifying the house of God also means, if there's something on the floor, pick it up, throw it out. If they leave chumashim or Sidurim on benches, certainly after shul, they should be put back in their proper place. So that whenever I see like a broken or even a plastic cup or a tissue on a table or on the floor, I pick it up and throw it out. Otherwise,
Good.
if I'm looking at it, it annoys me, and I don't want to be annoyed when I pray.
I also heard that it's an avera to litter anywhere in Eretz Yisrael.
Oh,
Tell that to some people around our area.
I'm always picking things up off the sidewalk and streets and throwing them in garbage cans.
Also, then you have so then it will be the same mitzvah. Just like you beautify the shul, you beautify Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah,
You
I
get a
guess
mitzvah
so.
when you pick up all the trash that everybody throws on the floor here.
So one lesson I learned about this, a lot of times I think it's like kids because it's little snack bags and stuff.
It's also
But cans too. I picked up a can today that was crushed on the floor and put it in the garbage.
I said cats.
Oh, cats and birds. Right, the
Put it in
crows.
trash, and
Yeah.
they rip the bags open.
So one time I was walking out of shul. I was behind someone. Maybe I knew him. I didn't know him. And before he left the shul, a tissue fell out of his pocket. So obviously I picked it up and threw it out. I didn't say anything to him. But it seems to me that these things can happen unintentionally too.
Yeah, but not to the extent of covering the whole floor.
That's true. You're right about that, Roy. Right about that.
Oh. Pesach Sameach, Lou.
What?
Pesach Sameach.
Oh, you've seen me eating my matzah.
No, I wasn't watching.
Pesach Sheni.
Yeah, I just thought I'd just wish you a good happy Pesach. That's all.
Okay, well,
I heard that. All right.
okay, so there we have it.
I'd like to add that probably beautifying also means or can be stretched to mean sort of to pray, to daven nicely and properly, but to pray nicely and to conduct yourself nicely, appropriately in the shul. I think beautifying Hashem's house is be stretched to mean those.
Here is
Right.
Shemayim. It's expressed in the tefillas. Is a fulfillment of the command of the Torah. It says to fear the place. More mikdash. And this is something that's it's an important also with the tefillas and also with any disturbances that not the people talking, but phones that go off in the middle of Shmona Esrei.
Oh,
This is all within the pasuk that it says, and you shall fear the mikdash, and the basic knesses is a mikdash ma'at, and this is a pasuk in the Torah. Trying to think of where it is right now. I slipped my place eludes me right now. Otherwise, I would look it up and show it to you inside. You'll see. Because this what the Pele Yoetz is referring to, I think, is also based upon the beautification of the basic Knesses. I think it is based upon a pasuk in Navi. and it's brought in the Gemara also. But what I'm talking about Mar Mikdash is a pasuk in the Chumash. Okay. So yeah. Okay, now we go to Harav Ovadia Bar Tanura. We go to Meir to continue.
Okay. Rav Ovadia Batanura, explained that an Am Haaretz is called this name because he engages in settling of the land and the construction of buildings. This is in contrast to the Torah scholar who would leave the land desolate. Someone who possesses intelligence will not desire to waste his time and exhaust his strength and days to build edifices during his short, fleeting stay so that others will end up living in them, his friends or his enemies or his wife's husband, while he is brought to rest in an earthly grave. Whereas someone who possesses wisdom will turn to build houses in the eternal world through his good actions and will only build in this world that which is minimally necessary for the service of God. Okay.
Oh, very good. Okay. Oh, so here we have another Aramukum for this idea that the Pele Yoetz is expressing over here from Rav Ovadia Bar Tanura in Avos. Wonder what that Mishnah is that he's referring to.
5, 10, 4. Fortunately, there will. Okay.
Don't have a sitter here.
5, 10.
I'll go and get one.
Well, like I was saying, some of the pagination in different texts are different.
Mhm.
Well, 5, 10. Just see if I have another one here. Okay, I wrote.
Okay. Second there, Eretz. Second Sofrim. Avos Dereva Nasa. And Avos. Okay. Mishnah Yud. Yud. Arba Midos Ba'adam. 4 different midos of a person. Ha'omer shali shali, shalcha shalcha, zumi the beinanis, yishomrim zumi the sedom, shali shalcha, shalcha shali, ama aretz. Oh, so that's the ama aretz. He says shali shalcha, shalcha shali. What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. That's an ama aretz, says the Mishnah.
Vote 5.
Rashi over here says she'ein bo tarbus. That's got no there's nothing that's a that's not the right thing. Okay, but I don't have Reb Ovadia over here. Anyway. Okay. All right. So let's continue, especially in the diaspora. And we go to Alan. Alan, would you like to continue?
What's the page number?
110.
110
Last paragraph.
in the diaspora. Front Eretz Ha'amim. Page 110 on the bottom of the page. Want to continue, Alan?
Sure, which, especially in the diaspora,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Especially in the diaspora, if possible, one should rent a dwelling rather than build at all and not establish his home in a defiled land. This is an indicator of his daily belief in redemption, his anticipation of salvation, as we wrote in its place. However, if Hashem has granted him financial success and he has tremendous resources, it's good that he should invest in houses, properties, and stores in accord with Hashem's blessings in order to rent them out. By doing so, he will fulfill the dictum of our sages. Problem at CF42A, the person must distribute his capital, 1/3 in real estate, 1/3 in business, and 1/3 cash. The person is capable of having possessions and wealth in his home while maintaining his righteousness for eternity. For example, if he discounts the monthly rent of a poor person or Torah scholar, it is proper that a man rent his property to a God-fearing individual or Torah scholar who will learn and perform good deeds in it, so that the divine presence will reside there and his inheritance will be everlasting. In accord with the verse of Mishlei, the house of the righteous will stand. Needless to say, one who gives his house to a sinful man and the knowledge of the opposing evil forces is the same. It's better to rent his house or store to a simple, good, and upright person who even half of the usual amount. His earnings will be better than monetary income, but he will eat the fruits of this world, and the principal remain for the world to come. Behold, his reward is his, and his deeds are with him.
Okay, so here we have the financial advice from the Gemara Bava Metzia. What should a person do if he has money that he does not need to live on, I guess? So that's what the Gemara says over there. 1/3 in real estate, 1/3 in business, 1/3 in cash. Interesting Gemara.
Hmm.
Doesn't say anything about the stock market.
That's business.
Oh, that's business. Okay. In other words, that's how you invest in business these days. You buy into a stock from a solid company. Okay, right. That's business. True. And 1/3 to leave in cash. Okay. Maybe you could do a CD or a mutual fund or something like that, maybe, but you don't have to let it do nothing. Okay. So that's the one. Let's see it. Right. Okay. Okay. So we go to the next section. And a round of applause for finishing the binyan.
Yay.
See, that's not so simple to finish the binyan, but we did it with Hashem's help. Now we're going to do boreach, fleeing. We go to Lou to continue, please.
Our sages said one should run to do a mitzvah and flee from a sin. Concept of fleeing is to be concerned even about a remote possibility of wrongdoing. As the sages implored that one should dash through 100 gates of permitted access in order to avoid even one that is prohibited. They also said, love the maybe, meaning that wherever a person wants to go, he should be concerned lest he come to do some sort of prohibition. Likewise, in regard to any words one wants to speak, he must be very careful to avoid any manner of prohibited speech. This applies as well to any action. One must run away from the permissible in order to avoid any violation. He should only go, speak, or do that which is very necessary for the sake of a mitzvah or his personal need, after he has fully clarified that it cannot possibly cause even the slightest infraction. This is pure fear of God. Fortunate is the man who fears him. A person who is very careful to keep away from all evil will be protected by God from all evil, and God will guarantee that he does no wrong. Our sages remarked, physical danger is an even greater concern than a prohibition. Therefore, it is proper to run away even more from a place of potential danger in a location where injury is common. A person should not rely on a miracle, lest heaven not perform for him a miracle. If heaven does perform for him a miracle, his merits will be diminished.
There's that Gemara again.
Yeah, that's that whole subject of merits. If you look at the Gemara, it refers to the prayer of Yaakov.
Yeah, that's coming up.
But if you look at the prayer of Yaakov, first he says, I've become small because of all the kindnesses that you've done to me. But then he says, I'm concerned that maybe I have sinned. So I think that if he didn't sin, then he wouldn't have a problem.
Something. Okay, let's take a look.
In other words, I don't think it's correct to say heaven, if heaven performs a miracle, then merits are diminished. I don't think that's correct.
Yeah, we have to take a look at this. We had he mentioned something similar to this when we the first few entries that we looked in, I remember, but I don't remember where that is right now. But he's telling us it's in Shabbos 32a. I don't remember it being over there, but he says that it is. We'll look. Let's see. Shabbos Lamed Beis. That's the same Gemara that we looked in yesterday.
Can you hear that drilling?
I can hear it.
Oh, mute.
Yeah, it went away. When you muted, it went away. Okay, it's on 32A2 if you have an art scroll. It's Amar Rabbi Chanina.
Let's see.
Okay, so it's in the fat lines, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 lines down in the fat lines. First one of the line is nas or nace.
Lolam al yamod adam b'makom sakana. Person should never stand in a place of physical danger. Lo masha osin lo nes, saying that, oh, they're going to do for him a miracle. Shema ein osin lo nes, because maybe they won't. Im osin lo, and if they do one for him, menakin lo mischuyosav. They deduct from his merits. They take off from his merits.
Okay, but say he's done something wrong. It's not that a miracle was just done for him. It's that he violated a principle by relying on a miracle.
Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, I hear. Okay, I don't see that Rashi comments on that. Okay, so I have something over here from the oh, actually the Gemara brings from Yaakov Avinu.
Exactly, that's what I said.
So right after having mentioned that, oh, maybe it starts from before there, actually. Uh-huh. Whew. Yeah, this is also something that Rashi brings from Chazal when there was discussion with Yaakov Avinu about bringing Binyamin to Yosef Atzadik, because Yosef had requested that any remaining brothers be brought before him. And there was a mention over there, oh, maybe something will happen to him on the way. And Rashi brought the Chazal that the Satan is Mekatreg B'shas Sakana. So in a place of danger, like a road in the middle of the night, etc., outside the habitation, that was a dangerous situation to put Binyamin in.
Right.
And, so there we have another source for this idea.
But again, that's a situation where you've put yourself in danger. And so you've opened up, they say you've opened up the way for the Satan to accuse you. So in other words, you've put a magnifying glass or a spotlight on yourself. However, unless there's some problem, that's not gonna have any effect. You still have to, at the end of the day, you still have to have this underlying problem, some sin, something that you did wrong.
Okay.
And it also references in Shabbos, it references brachos 4a. It's in the footnote. On the footnote is on the quote where Yaakov says, "I've been diminished by all the kindnesses and by all the truth." So the footnote refers you to brachos 4a, and brachos 4a says that Yaakov became very frightened because he said, "I'm afraid lest a sin cause me to lose my protection."
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, here we have it. Here we have the subject again.
Yep.
We have a lot of Marmakomos over here to look into and examine. So
I think we got to quit.
oh, we're already past the time. Okay. Saved by the bell once again. All right. Okay. So everybody have a we want to say goodbye for today to Mayor
Okay, have a good day, everyone.
and Rebbe Chiel. All the best to you and have a wonderful day. And Hashem should guard over us. Bezrat Hashem, keep us away from danger.
Amen.
What
And
page are we looking at?
so we're doing today, what we just finished doing is page 111. Boreach, fleeing. This is in the first chelik of Pele Yoetz.
Oh, okay, let's try that. So,
Okay.
111.
So this is a very, very interesting subject. It has a lot of related places in the Chazal and also from the Chumash. The Gemara is adducing support for the one who said this statement, Rav Yanai, from the statement of Yaakov Avinu in I think it's next week's parsha.
Right.
When Yaakov hears that that Esav is coming to greet him with the 400 generals, this is the words that he said to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Okay, so we'll be back tomorrow, Bezrat Hashem, and here for Baba Kama, we'll be back very soon. Bez Hashem.
Okay. See you soon.